Yes, villagers, we're going to show you how to reduce the amount of anxiety that you are feeling around this coronavirus. If you're interested in that, we got 4 tips for you. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to our village. If you're a returning villager, welcome as well. So, let's get into it.
Welcome to Garden of the Mind, where we reduce stress, improve our health and fitness, and improve our financial IQ every episode.
This coronavirus is something completely unprecedented. At no point in history has all of these different things converged in one spot the way that they're converging here. There is no way for us to see or have any benchmarks or guidelines or rule books or anything that lets us know whether we're doing a good job or not doing a good job, which makes things very difficult because we're making history right here and right now. Being that we don't have a precedent or anything to look forward and see exactly how we should handle things now, we have to write that rule book ourselves. But that's no problem for us if you keep a positive mindset. And we're going to help you do that. Tip number 1, concern yourself with things that you can do something about. Now, there are so many pieces to this puzzle now. There's so many things to think about. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen in 3 months? What's going to happen in the summertime? What's going to happen next year? We can go crazy trying to figure out all of the different possibilities and how everything is going to work out. But nobody has a crystal ball. In order for you to reduce the stress and anxiety for what it is that you feel, you have to take the known and stretch it to the unknown. So you have to concern yourself with the things that you already know at this point in time. So everything that you know, do those things. Now, being that there's no rule book, no guidebook or anything, it creates anxiety in our mind because we don't know whether we're doing a good job, not doing a good job, on the right path, on the wrong path. We have absolutely no idea. And when we don't know about things, that creates a level of stress and anxiety. So with that, what I say to you is to do the things that you already know. Those benchmarks are very important because we as human beings, we want to know whether we're doing a good job or not. Because if we're doing a good job, then chances are we're not going to get fired and our position at our job is pretty secure. But if you're not sure what it is that you're responsible for, and you think that if I do this and they hold me accountable for something else, then I may get fired. And that leads to a lot of different anxiety because you don't know what you're responsible for and you don't know what you're not responsible for. So that can lead to a lot of anxiety. What I say is to do your best. Do what you've been doing when you were at the work site as close as possible while you're home. Follow the directives of your supervisor. But understand, your supervisors are in the exact same position that you are in. They don't know exactly what it is that they can hold you accountable for, and they also don't know how secure their job is because they don't know whether they're doing a good job or not a good job. So we're all in this together. So just do your best, and that's all you can be expected to do. Tip number 2, be flexible. This coronavirus has completely muddied the waters. So now everybody is at home and it's everybody's workplace. It's everybody's classroom. So everybody is now at home all at the same time. Now that's not usually the way things are. Usually while the kids are in school, you're at work, or when one person is here, another person is there. So it changes the balance and the dynamics of the house. Now we have to find a way to all work together. And that can be frustrating. That can be frustrating to be with your family members 24/7. It's almost like the holidays. But if you got through that, you can get through this too. Once again, we want to take the known and stretch it to the unknown. Some of the things that you know is that you have to eat. And everybody in your house also has to eat. Make it an activity. All of you get together and talk about what meals you're going to make. See if you can make those meals together. Plan and schedule as best as you can. That is making the known and stretching it to the unknown, because if you have a schedule, that creates a sense of normalcy. You know exactly what to expect from time to time based on the schedule. So if you start with your meals and then go through and populate everything else, so you can figure out what time are the kids going to be at school doing remote learning, what time will you be at work. Create a very, very tight schedule. The tighter the schedule, the least the anxiety. The more time you spend on the front end, the more time you have to enjoy at the back end. But if you don't take the time to schedule, you're going to be in for a lot of different frustration and anxiety that a schedule would have been able to prevent. Tip number 3, take proper precautions. Once again, we're taking the known and stretching it to the unknown. Some of the things that we know at this point is that if you wash your hands, that can decrease the spread of the virus. So wash your hands. Do that. Avoid touching your face. That's something that you can do. Avoid human contact through social distancing. That's something you can do. The other things you can't think about. It'll threaten your peace of mind. If you start thinking about,
well, how long does the virus live on surfaces? If stores are telling me that I can't return things, what about people who've already touched them? How long has the virus lived there?
You can't threaten your peace of mind with thinking like that. Just do the best that you possibly can and leave it there. Tip number 4, God is still in control. It doesn't matter what it is that we're up against. We know if we got God on our side, who can stand before us? So whether we're talking about a virus, an opponent, a tough situation, a threat to our health, we know that we will be victorious. But you have to believe that. Those aren't just words that are put on a page. Those are things you actually have to believe. Thoughts are actions. So when you're reading these words, if you are thinking and you're believing that these are true, then they are true. This is a time we really have to watch our words. Some people are saying things like, oh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. And you know what? When you say things like that, then that's exactly what becomes true. It does become the worst thing that's ever happened. What I say is this is a very unfortunate situation, but we can make it work for our benefit. This is not the first time we've been here. We've seen Zika, we've seen H1N1, bird flu, swine flu, all of these different flus that have come and have went. Now, at those times, those were a big deal. Ebola, do you remember Ebola? People had their skin being eaten up and all kind of stuff. At that time, that was major. Now, this is major. But you know what? We're going to get through this. And we'll be talking about this situation at some point in the future. 2 Timothy 1:7 said God did not give us the spirit of fear. So where did it come from? The spirit of fear comes from when you start to believe other situations and other things and other people over your belief in God. So if I start to put all of my belief in this coronavirus and all of the damages that this thing can do, then I'm going to start to experience some fear. If I put all my faith in God, then there's no room for me to be afraid. Now, I don't know whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God. Regardless as to what, you got to make things work for you. If you are catastrophizing and thinking that it's the end of the world, see whether that thought or that mindset is working for you. I can guarantee you that it's not. So, if it's not working for you, don't let it work for you. Find something else that will work for you. For me, I'm going to believe in God because I didn't make myself and I can't save myself. I didn't make this virus and I sure don't have the cure. But what I can do is I can pray. But in addition to me praying, I can take the proper precautions and pray about the things that I have no control over. So I can do the things that I do have control over and pray about the things that I don't have control over. See, I think people have a false sense of prayer. They believe that you can just sit and prayer is going to take care of everything. I do believe it can, but I think prayer works best in concert with your actions. So if you take all of the proper precautions, then I think God takes care of all of the other things that you can't take care of. Bonus tip. Today's bonus tip is to limit your mainstream media to 1 hour. Now, I would say social media, but that's too broad. There's so many different things that you can choose within social media that might serve you, like the D-Nice party, or some of the other DJs that are playing quarantine parties. Those things can help to uplift your spirits. But if you're watching the news constantly, the news is constantly outlining problems and different dangers that there are out in the world. And all that does is it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And you can't do anything about all that's built up over here. So that leads to stress. That leads to anxiety. What I say is that's put in the back of your brain and it's sitting there on slow burn. So even though you're not actively thinking about it, there's a part of you that is concerned about everything that you saw and heard on the mainstream media. So limit your viewing of the mainstream media to about an hour a day. Find out exactly what the nuances are and don't continue to pay attention to how many lives have been claimed or how many people are positive. If we're believing in God, we know that those things are not going to be your downfall. As I said, we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through this together. The only way for us to do that is to keep a positive mindset, for us to help each other, and for us to pray. Now, these are some of the things that I've come up with. If you think that there are other things that can really help to decrease this anxiety, please put it in the comments. The village will be also happy about hearing it, and so will I. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you want to know when I post, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but the exact time, please click on that notification bell so you'll be one of the first people to hear exactly what it is that we discussed today. And remember, thoughts are actions, words have power, and actions have consequences. I'll see you for Wealthy Wednesdays, where I'll probably be going live. I'll see you then.